Hi, welcome back to my channel. My name is Laura. It's Friday, so I'm doing Friday reads. Oh my God, this week has gone by so quickly. I almost forgot to do my Friday reads. I haven't even touched the books from Monday. They're still sitting here in a pile. I did get some emails, comments below. I haven't responded. Usually I respond after I do my video, so I will probably do that later. I do kind of remember what people said because I do read them, but I just haven't had a chance to respond. I've had a really strange week, very tough week. I did start a doodle your emotions, so that has certainly helped me out this week. Really enjoyed that. I've been doing that every day. I've also been doing Victoria's journaling prompts and Tina's journaling prompts. I have been doing that every day. I haven't missed a day, so I'm doing really good, and that's really helping me as well. Okay, so what I usually do on Fridays, I do what I'm currently reading, what I will be reading, and sometimes I do reviews. So I do have one review, so I will go to my past self because I videotaped that after I finished the book. So we'll do that now. So I finished another book. I listened to Mind Hacking, How to Change Your Mind for Good in 21 Days. So yeah, I listened to this on Scribd. I was having a lot of difficulty being blue and negative thoughts. So I wanted something that would give me positive thoughts and positive information influence. So that's why I chose this book. I'm glad I did. It did help me a lot. It is a very long audiobook. The reason is he does 21 days of positive thinking, and what he does is he makes you think positively, but then he gives you 10 minutes of breathing exercises where he totally goes off the grid, and your audiobook is still playing, but you are sitting there breathing for 10 minutes. And then he comes back. He actually scares me a couple of times while I was doing the 21 days because he comes back. You're very mindful and you're breathing, and it's going on for 10 minutes long, and then all of a sudden he starts talking again, and he's like, oh, congratulations, you made it through day 2, or you made it through day 10. It was really interesting and fun to listen to the audiobook, especially while I was driving in the car. I listened to it while I was quilting and sewing. I was listening to it. So it is a book that you can go back to and listen to again just to get more out of it. So highly recommend you listen to it. I also learned a lot about computers and like computers in the past. He is a computer programmer, so yes, highly recommend this book. Great listen, and that's it. Okay, back to what I'm physically reading right now. I had to write it down because I have it on my phone mostly. So I do have it written down in my journal here. The first book that I am still reading, which will probably take me forever because I haven't been picking it up, but I am still reading The Good Sister. I don't think I got very far since the last. I may have been in the same spot as last week. I've been listening to my audiobook, so I haven't been reading my physical book. So I am still on page 92. I don't know if that's where I was last week. I don't know. Anyway, so that's that. I did start a Kindle book. Yes, I'm still reading The Stand, but I didn't get very far. I think I only read like one chapter since the last time. So I decided I wasn't feeling The Stand because it seems to be a lot like COVID, and I just didn't want to feel like being in COVID. So yeah. So I kind of put that aside and I was like, let me read one of the books that I downloaded recently. So I started reading the book called Emily Gone by Bet Lee Crosby. I have read this author before, so she had a sale and I was like, okay, let me get this book. So I started reading it. I'm on page 15. The baby Emily is a baby. She's an infant. So I'm not really grasping the book. So I'm not sure how much more I will read of it, but I did read a little bit about it. The baby's very cranky and all that. So yeah, I only read like 15 pages, so we'll see. Yeah, so we'll see what happens with that. Anyway, the audiobook that I chose since I stopped the mind hacking book, the audiobook that I chose is amazing. So I've been riding my bicycle with my daughter. My daughter she loves to do exercise. Me, I'm not so slow. I hate exercising. I don't want to move. But she's been getting me on the bike and she zooms off and here I am listening by myself and I'm like, okay, I'm going to have to listen to an audiobook or put some kind of music on or something just so I could get up the hill and do the 4 miles that she does. She actually does 7 miles. And I am struggling just to get 4 miles done on the bicycle. So anyway, for 2 days in a row, I started listening to this book and I cannot put it down. And it's really, really great because it is, let me tell you the name of the book. Okay, so the book that I am listening to on Scribd is... And I'm going to curse here, so I'm sorry if I curse and you don't like that. But the title in the book is a curse word. So, some people say it's curse and some people say it's not a curse word. But here we go. The book that I am listening to is called Let That Shit Go. Find Peace of Mind and Happiness in Your Everyday. And it's by Nina Purewal. I don't know if I said the author's name correctly or not, but this is great for the mental health, which is Mental Health May. I've been doing my emotions, doodle my emotions, and this book is great because it's also making me think and making me stop. And every time I think of a negative thought, this book is making me think of a positive thought and try to change it around. So it's been helping me a lot. Also within my journaling, I did start a brain dump journal because, yes, I do my Fibonacci every day, but I'm trying to make the Fibonacci very positive and only putting positive stuff in there. But a lot of times I want to get rid of the negative. So I started a new journal, and this journal, I am writing my feelings down, and it's something that I don't want anybody to read. It's more like a diary, and I put it in my A5 journal that I got from Cheek Sparrow just recently, and I'm calling it a brain dump. The bad, the good, the ugly, everything is going in there because I need to get rid of the stuff. In order to get rid of the stuff, even mind hacking said to write it down. So if I feel lonely, which I've been feeling a lot lonely, like not invited, my children and my family seem to do things, and I just feel like I'm not invited because like they go bike riding and they don't invite me, and then I feel this. I feel uninvited, and I feel, what's the other emotion? Lonely, very lonely. So now I'm starting to write it down and trying to let it go. And this audiobook has really made me think about these negative thoughts and why am I thinking these negative thoughts and stuff like that. And also the doodle emotions has helped me out a lot. Anyway, that's it for that book. I'm really enjoying it. I'm about halfway through it, I think, and I'm thinking that it's going to be a really positive, learning a lot. And I've also been journaling a lot. Like, she'll talk and say a quote and stuff, and I've been putting it in my book. So really enjoying that, and that's that for the audiobook. Okay, so I know a lot of people are here just to see me knock down my TBR, and I have not touched any of the books. So here we go. I'm going to pick out each book. I have 50 books here. I'm going to go through each one. If I got a comment from someone saying keep it, I'm going to just keep it. If I have no idea what to do about it, I'm going to read the first page like I did last time. So we'll see if I can eliminate any of these books. So let's start from the first pile. So here we go. Barbara Kingslover. I believe that she is a good author, and I need to try her out. So I'm not even going to try the first page. I'm going to keep it. So I'm going to make a pile over here and do the keep pile. Okay, so let's try The Good Life. I have no idea, never heard this author before, so let's try the first page and see if it even grabs me. The front page says, will you know it when you find it? So let's see. First page, will it keep me motivated and interested? So read the first page. She was in the tub with when her mother called. After receiving the message, Anne sat back against the warmed white porcelain and closed her eyes, wondering what her mother could possibly need at 8 p.m. on a Tuesday night that wouldn't wait until tomorrow. She had just talked to her. What, 2-3 weeks ago? Anne rose from the bubble, stepped out of the tub, and descended the 2 steps to the heated floor, where she slowly towel-dried her body and hair, all the while looking at herself in the mirror that covered the walls. She rubbed moisturizer into her arms, legs, face, and neck, and blotted almond gel around her small hazel eyes. Okay, so I am going to keep it because I would really like to know why she needs to call her mother back, because I know that when my mother calls, I need to call her right away. So yeah, seems interesting, and I want to read a little bit more, so I'm going to keep it. Let's try He Said, She Said. So this one was quoted by Ruth Ware, gripping, twisting, furiously clever read that asks all the right questions and keeps you guessing to the very end. So let's see. Okay, so I'm going to go to the first page, and the chapter is called Laura. And so the main character's name is Laura. It takes place in March 2015. So am I going to keep it? Yes, I'm going to keep it. The main character's name is Laura. So that doesn't happen very often. So I'm keeping that one. Okay, move on to this one, which is The Improbable Theory of Anna and Zach. So I'm going to try to go as fast as I can. I'm going to get winded, but the first chapter starts with Zach. Zach, hey, Zach, where are you? The sound of my stepfather's voice filled me with dread. My mother is gone. We are alone. Zach, get out here. I try to ignore it. I try to lose myself in an issue of Fangoria. For now, I'm safe in my little hiding place in the utility room. If I don't answer, maybe he won't find me. Maybe he won't make me do those things. What kind of things? I'm going to keep this book and try to read more one day. So, yeah, that seems interesting. Okay, move on to Take One. And I believe this is book 1. There's a big 1 here. I don't know if you could see that. There's a big 1. And it says 3 short years, 2 best friends, 1 believable dream. So let's go to the very first page and, okay. Chase doubted there was enough oxygen in the plane to get him from San Jose to Indianapolis. He took his window seat on the Boeing 737, slid his laptop back onto the floor space in front of him, and closed his eyes. Deep breaths, he told himself. Stay calm. But nothing about the job ahead of him inspired even a single peaceful feeling. One Monday, Chase and his best friend Heath would set up shop in Bloomington, Indiana, and start spending millions of dollars of other people's investment money to take a film they believed would change lives. So, yeah, I think that I am going to donate it. Really didn't feel it, and I'm going to donate that one. Let's move on to Hext. So, let's see. It says fast-paced, so let's see how fast-paced it is. I'm going to go to page 1 and read the first paragraph. Exactly 12 minutes into cheerleading practice, and I already wish I were dead. Sweat collects along my hairline, blood fills my head, and a hammering pulse pounds in my neck. I can't be the first to fall, but my arms quiver under the weight of my body until finally they buckle and I collapse onto the cold blue mat of the school's gymnasium. So this sounds pretty interesting. I think my children will probably like it. It sounds like a high school book, so I'm going to keep it. Okay, next one is Whisper, and very short chapters, which is good. Making wishes is for kids and idiots. I should be able to stop myself since I'm not a kid anymore, or an idiot. But I can't help it. I make wishes, even though it's a bit like bungee jumping. You've got to be crazy to jump off a bridge. Crazy enough to believe that a rubber band will save you even though you are hurling towards the rocks below. This sounds pretty interesting. I think I'm going to keep it. So that's that one. These broken stars. Yeah, so let's see. Page 1 is page 1 is about Tarver. Tarver is the name of the character. Sorry if you hear any noise. My blender is going. Nothing about this room is real. If this were a party at home, the music would draw your eye to human musicians in the corner. Candles and soft lamps would light the room, and the wooden tables would be made of actual trees. People would be listening to each other instead of checking to see who's watching them. So, really didn't grab me at all. So, I think I'm going to donate it. Yeah, I'm going to donate it. So, go on to the next one. This is a huge undertaking. This is a Christian fiction book. This has 2 books in one. So let's see if I can read the first page and if it's worth it to keep it or not. So let's see. Takes place in 1988, which is the year I graduated. So you know what? I think I'm going to keep it just because of that year. So, yeah, I'm going to keep it and try to read more. The next one is called The Island Trilogy. And let's try to read this one. I believe that this is is this a middle grade book? It might be a middle grade book. All right, so... Okay, it takes place in 2140. Oh, wait a minute. Sunday, July 9th, 2140 hours. I don't know. Okay. Luke squeezed into the tiny bathroom and pulled the door shut behind him. Not the bathroom, he reminded himself. The head. Luke knew he'd been sentenced to this boat for the next month. What he didn't know was that it was going to be a never-ending vocabulary lesson. Not walls, bulkheads. Not beds, berths. The kitchen was a gallery, a room was a cabin, and who cared? So it seems pretty interesting, and I want to read more, so I'm going to keep it. All right, so we went through 10 books, and so far I am donating 2 of them. So let's go to the next pile. I'm trying to go fast, but this is taking a long time. Sorry about that. Okay, so the next book, I am going to keep it because it is from my grandmother gave it to me. It is a large print, so it's called Calling Me Home. I'm going to keep it. The next book, someone commented to keep this one, so it's called To Dance with the White Dog, so I am going to keep it. Let's try reading Ernest. So Ernest, let's see. Chapter 1. Anna pulled up in front of her beloved Victorian house. Well, it wasn't really hers. She rented it with 2 other business owners, and they were saving up to buy it, but in her heart, she owned it. As on every Monday morning, her ancient van was loaded with wholesale flowers and plants from Seattle, and Anna would have to lug them into Planned Parenthood, her shop on the first floor. Ernest leaped to the street, happy that he'd had a ferry ride, as Anna lifted 2 buckets of roses. So I believe that Ernest is the dog, and I really like dog books, so I think I'm going to keep it. Let's go on to the next one, which is about a girl. So, and this seems to have a prologue, but I'm going to chapter 1. So 2 weeks earlier, it is called. It was more or less a day like any other when it all went wrong. My alarm went off. I got up, showered in silence, and watched 15 minutes of breakfast news and stuttering subtitles so as not to wake my flatmate. I got dressed. I checked my bag to make sure I had an adequate number of tampons, even though my period was a good 3 weeks away. And after checking, I turned my hair straighteners off twice. I left for the office. As usual, I was the first one in. No one else made it in before 10 on Mondays, and I was the kind of irritating person who got a lot more done without the clacking of everyone else's keyboards to distract me. So I think I'm going to keep it. It sounds pretty interesting, and we will read more. The next book, someone said to read it. So this is The Flowers of Algernon. I don't even know how to say that name. Anyway, she said to keep it. It is a sad book, but I will try to read it. So that one's that. Okay, The Iron Daughter, I heard, is part of a series. And I believe this is book 2 or book 3. So I am going to donate it. So that's that. Okay, Everybody Sees the Ants. So let's try this one. And we're going to first page. And it says, the first thing you need to know, the squid. My mother is addicted to swimming. I don't mean this in a cute, doing handsomes in the shallow end sort of way. I mean she's addicted. More than 200 laps a day, no matter what. So I'm spending this summer vacation, like pretty much every summer vacation I can remember, at the country community swimming pool. Operation Don't Smile Ever is still in full effect. I haven't smiled in 6 months. So this sounds pretty fun, and it sounds like a summer read, so I'm going to keep it. The next one is A Midsummer's Nightmare. So let's try that one. page 1. Hangovers or a bitch. Okay. Keep reading, or should I get rid of it already? Okay, I've known this for years, since I was like 14 and went to my first kegger. But the headache I woke up with the morning after graduation was the worst I've ever experienced. And that says a lot. I mean, it was throbbing. I felt like someone had beaten me over the head with a freaking baseball bat. Okay, so... Okay, 1, she's drinking. 2, she's cursing. Things I hate about books, definitely. She also calls herself ugly later on. Really bad. Okay, so I am going to donate this one, not even give it a chance, because that would drive me crazy. Sorry if this is your favorite book, but I just don't want to read negative books anymore, so I am going to donate it. Okay, moving on to the next one. Things we know by heart. So let's see. Things we know. Okay, so chapter 1. Okay, chapter 1. 400 days. I repeat the number in my head. Let it take over the hollow feeling as I grip the steering wheel. I can't let it go by like any other day without doing this. 400 deserves something, some sort of acknowledgement. Like 365 when I bought flowers to his mom, but not to his grave, because I knew he would have wanted her to have them. Or like his birthday when it passed. That was 4 months, 3 weeks, and 1 day after, day 142. So I think I'm going to keep it because I want to know what else is going on here. Yeah, I like the thing about the 365 days and stuff like that. So I'm going to try to read about a little bit more. The next one, the last one in pile 20 is Demon Road. So let's see what this one is about. And let's see, chapter 1. Okay. 12 hours before Amber's parents tried to kill her, she was sitting between them in the principal's office, her hands in her lap, stifling all the things she wanted to say. So this seems fun and interesting. So I'm going to keep it and read more. That was the first sentence of the book. Okay, we're moving on to the next pile of books. And sorry, in the 1 through the 20 pile, I did get rid of 2 books. So I am down 4 books. So I'm doing pretty good. It's like 2 per pile. So let's see if I could do 2 in this pile as well. The next one is The Start of Me and You. So, and this is chapter 1. Of all the places to have something memorable happen to you, Oakhurst, Indiana had to be one of the worst. Our town was too big for people to know everything about you, but just small enough for them to clench down on one defining moment like teeth clamped to prey. Won the spelling bee in 4th grade. Won the spelling bee in 4th grade. You are a dictionary girl forever. Laughed a little too hard in 6th grade. You will still be the guy who peed his pants as you walk across the stage to receive your diploma. So, as you see, I kind of stumbled a few times reading this. There's, I don't know if it's a grammar error or what. And it says one, okay, so where I stumbled was won the spelling bee in 4th grade, and then there's a question mark. So is that a question? Did that really happen? And then the next one is you are a dictionary girl forever, period. Laughed a little too hard in 6th grade, question mark. So, yeah. Do I keep it? I don't know. There's kind of like questions, strange, you know. I don't know if those are supposed to be questions or what, and it seemed a little hard to read. I think I'm going to put it in the donation pile. All right, next book, Zodiac Legacy. So let's see. There's lots of pictures in here, so like graphic cartoons. Okay, chapter 1. Convergence is the name of the chapter. There was something odd about the tour guide. She was tall with long hair, and she seemed to know a lot about Chinese history, as she should, working in a museum. But as Stephen Lee listened to her, he couldn't shake the feeling that she wasn't quite what she seemed. Okay, I think I'm going to keep it and to read a little bit more. It does have, like, it's written in red. It was really hard to read, but it's not the same. The next page is white, so and the whole book is not like that. It looks like only the first chapters are like that, but it could be a good story, so I'm going to keep it. So that's the third pile. Okay, moving on to Elusive. So let's see. Now you see her, now you don't. So part 1. Part 1. For they would inherit a world as so devastated by explosions and poison and fire that today we cannot even conceive of its horrors. So let us try to turn the world away from war. Let us make the most of this opportunity and every opportunity to reduce tension, to slow down the perilous nuclear arms race, and to check the world's slide toward final annihilation. So yeah, it sounds pretty interesting. I'm gonna keep it. Prince of Thorns. Okay, I believe that this is a book 1 of a series. It is also fantasy, I believe. Let's see if I could even read it. I have trouble with fantasy, and that's why I try not to read it, but every YouTuber loves fantasy and they always tell you to buy it, and so this is a book that I bought because a YouTuber said to get it, and I just don't really like them that much. Anyway, there is a map. So let's see if it is hard to read. Ravens, always the ravens. They settled on the gables of the church even before the injured became the dead. Even before Reich had finished taking fingers from hands and rings from fingers. I leaned back against the gallows post and nodded to the birds, a dozen of them in a black line, wise-eyed and watching. So this seems pretty interesting. I have this thing about birds. When I was little, I watched this movie called The Birds, and to this day, even when I see a lot of blackbirds, I get anxiety. So I think I'm going to try to read a bit more because I did read that pretty well. And yeah, it might be interesting that I like a fantasy book, but let's see. I will keep it. The next one is called The Shunning. And let's see what this one's about. Let's skip the prologue, go right to chapter 1. I think I have a damaged book. It is very warped. It looks like it got wet somehow. Anyway, let's try to read it. November days being what they were in southeastern Pennsylvania held an icy grip all their own. The wind, keen and cold, whipped at Rebecca's lap's black wool shawl. Her long apron was heavy with logs for the cook stove as she headed up the snowy back steps of the stone farmhouse. Okay, 1, it takes place in Pennsylvania, which is the next state over. 2 is the name of the character is called Rebecca, and it's my favorite name. It's actually my Hebrew name is Rebecca. So I think I'm going to keep it and read a little bit more. So yeah, let's keep that one. Okay, so this looks like Sexy Times. Now, I have tried to read Christina Lauren before, and I had a very hard time reading the book that I chose by them. So yeah, so I have Sublime, but this is like a sexy racist type cover. So I don't know if they do write new adult. So let's see if I could even read the first paragraph. This is gonna be fun. The story, the first chapter is called Her. And here we go. The girl is bent into odd angles when she wakes. It doesn't seem possible that she could have been sleeping here, alone on a dirt path, surrounded by leaves and grass and clouds. She feels like she might have fallen from the sky. So it seems pretty interesting. I read that pretty good. I do want to try Christina Lauren again, so I'm going to keep it. Okay. Here we go. What I remember most. Is this about memory loss? I don't know. But, yeah. Let's see. Ooh. The first chapter is really, really short. I'm going to love it. So let's see if I could even read it. It's so short. That's the first chapter. Look at that. So let's see if I can even read it. I hear his voice, then hers. I can't find them in the darkness. I can't see them through the trees. I don't understand what's going on, but their horror, their panic reaches me, throttles me. They scream the same thing. Run, Geraldine, run. It's them. So this sounds really interesting and a lot of fun and very fast paced. And yeah, I'm going to keep it. So that seems like a fun one to read. Okay, moving on to the next one. The Valentine Arrangement. So I believe that I got this book to read for Valentine's Day and never read it. So let's see what it says. 3 more days and their hearts and flowers shit would be over. 3 more days and the boxes of chocolates filled with things that should definitely not be paired with chocolate would be cleared from the shelves. The cheesy be mine balloons would deflate, and those damn stuffed gorillas holding giant hearts singing Wild Thing would be put to rest. So then it says it takes place in New York. I think that I'm going to keep it, even though it may bug me, because Valentine's Day is one of my favorite holidays because my birthday is the day before. So I'm going to try to read a bit more. And if I can't get through like 15 pages or so, I'm probably going to DNF it. But for now, I'm going to put it in my keep pile. Okay, so here comes Christina Lauren again. I have this one called The Beautiful Bastard. This is very popular with a lot of people. So, yeah, let's try to read Christina. It says more than 2 million reads online, first time in print. So the perfect blend of sex, sass, and heart. So you know what? I'm not even going to try to read it because I don't want to embarrass myself. But I want to try to read Christina Lauren. So I'm going to put it in my keep pile. So that's that one. And the last book in book 30 is this one, which is called Down to You. And let's see what this one's about. Again, I think this is new adult. And the first chapter is called Olivia. My head is spinning lightly but happily. I can't even remember the name of the drinks Shauna keeps ordering for us. I just know they're delicious and potent as hell. Wow. And then it says, when's the stripper coming? Okay, so one, she is drinking lots of drinks. Don't like that in books. And yeah, and then the strippers, I am going to donate it. So that was 2 more books out of the pile. So I'm doing good. I'm doing 2 books per pile. That's pretty good. Okay, so moving on to 30 to 40. And let's go through this. Okay, the first book is called The Surrendered. And that's what it looks like. And let's read the first chapter. This takes place in 1950 in Korea. So the journey was nearly over. The night was unusually chilly, the wind sharpened by the speed of the train as it rolled southward through the darkened valley. The cotton blanket June had stolen was large enough to spread as a tarp and at the same time wrap around her young brother and sister and herself, but it was threadbare, and for brief stretches the train would accelerate and the wind would cut right through to them. It had not been a problem the night before, but now they are riding on top of the boxcar as there was no more room within any of them, even as the train was more than a dozen cars long. A massive phalanx of refugees had met the train at the last station, and in the time it took her siblings to relieve themselves by the side of the tracks, they had lost their place and had to climb the rusted ladder between the cars, June running alongside for 50 meters until her brother was high enough on the rungs so she herself could jump on and on. So, yeah, I think I'm going to keep it. It sounds like a historical fiction type book. I don't know if that's what it is, but I'm going to keep it. So, let's go on to The Good Parents. So, yeah. The first chapter is called The Office. The best time was always afterwards alone in the ladies' restroom on the first floor. It had high frosted glass windows that at this hour, before the frail winter sun had found its way between the buildings of the city, shed a dim, grainy light like old footage in a documentary film. How long since this room had been modernized? There was a quick lime incinerator for tampons and a yellow notice about a woman's refuge, contact Terry, which might have been there since the 70s. It was the sort of place she was always trying to describe in one going letter in her head. But who was this letter to? Who wants to read about the toilets at your place of work? The rotating chrome soap dispensers, the mint green hand basins on their pedestals, the big wire basket for paper towels, the sense of living in another generation's film. I think that I'm going to donate it because it's very, very descriptive, and I don't know. I just don't like to read the whole paragraph. That was a whole paragraph. It took me all that time to read that paragraph. So yeah, I'm gonna get rid of it. All right, let's move on to Save Me. And chapter 1. The cancer is back. I'm sure of it. What else could explain why I haven't heard from him? I called Owen's cell phone twice in the hour. I sat at the airport in Philadelphia, and once before that from my hotel. My patient Daphne, I think. I pulled the newspaper out of my bag and tried to flip through it, but I can't focus. The words are slippery. My eyes jump from headline to headline. The words are slippery. My eyes jump from headline to headline. I think I read it twice. New champion finance legislation introduced. Silver screen legend dead at the age of 96. Strong storms expected in the Midwest. Yeah, do I keep it or not? This is hard. This is very hard. Okay, it seems very sad. I think I'm going to donate it. So, okay, the next one. Where the heart is, someone said to keep it, so I'm keeping it. The truth about you. So let's try that one. Exactly. Why are you looking so pleased with yourself? Me? Lainey responded innocently. I'm just enjoying listening to you. Stacy regarded her best friend dubiously. I am, Lainey insisted. Keep going. I'm all ears. Her own news could wait, since she really was keen to know more about the new man in Stacy's life. In fact, it was making her heart sing to see how happy Stacy was now, and after all she'd been through. Divorce could be a ferociously sadistic beast with a terror-like grip that didn't let go until it had stripped its victims of every last vestige of morale, self-esteem, sometimes even looks before it was done. So I am going to donate it because one, it's about divorce. Two, it is extremely long. The paragraph, this is one paragraph, and I'm not going to read any more, but it's very descriptive and very long. I just don't like that. I don't like reading books that like make me think and make me feel bad. So yeah, I'm just going to donate that one. Okay, When We Fall. So let's try this one. Okay, ready? But I don't want fruit for breakfast, Mom. Gia planted her chubby elbows on the granite countertop and scowled at Charlotte. I want pancakes with lots of syrup. Gia, we don't have time for pancakes today. Mommy has an appointment at 10:30 and with Aunt Elizabeth. Maria will be here any minute. So I'm going to keep it because, one, I like reading books about children, and she's a mom. And yeah, I think I'm going to try and read a little bit more of that one. Let's go on to the next one. The Daughter of the Pirate King. I got a nice sticker in there. Actually, it is a tattoo application. So that's in that book there. Oh, you know what? I have a signed copy. I must have met this author. I have a signed copy. Yes. So, you know what? I'm going to keep it because I probably did meet this author. Probably at BookCon. And I'm going to keep it. So I'm not even going to try reading it now. So let's keep it for now. The next book is The Magician's Nephew. This is part of a series, and someone said it is not book one, so I am going to donate it. Okay, so the next one is Nil, N-I-L. How do you escape from an island that doesn't exist? That seems pretty interesting. I think I'm going to keep it because I want to read more and see what that's all about. So I'm going to keep that one. And the next one is The Haunting Sunshine Girl. This sounds a lot of fun. I like haunting and ghosts, so I'm not even going to try reading it. So yeah, I'm going to keep it. Okay, Moving on to the last pile. I'm trying to go as fast as I can. Sorry if I read very slowly, but this is the only way I can get rid of these books, is if I actually physically try to read them, because everything I own, I really wanted to read. It's just that, yeah, it's really hard, and I really need to try it before I get rid of it. So let's try this one. It's called A Dirty Job. I heard that he is very funny, but funny to someone is not funny to other people. Yeah, I don't really laugh that much. I take everything seriously, so let's see if I could even read it and see if it's funny to me. So I love the little character in the book there. Let's see. Okay. Okay, there was a little poem in the first page. It says part 1, The Sorry Business. So I'm going to try to read that. What you seek, you shall never find. For when the gods made man, they kept immortality for themselves. Fill your belly, day and night make merry. Let days be full of joy. Love the child that holds your hand. Let your wife delight in your embrace, for those alone are the concerns of man. So that sounds fun. I really like how he says enjoy your life and that type thing. I'm going to read more and see. But I thought this author writes funny things, but this didn't find funny, but it was relatable. So, yeah, I'm going to keep it. So, okay. Moving on to Naked. Anyway, yes, I like to read romance books, but let's see if I could even get through this. Book 1, Acknowledgements. Book 1, there's a lot of takes place in London. Chapter 1. My mother can't see this right now, and that's a really good thing. She would freak. I'd made it to the Benny show tonight because I told him I'd be here, and I know how important it is for him. It's important for me too. I only want the best for my friend, just like he does for me. In the past 3 years, Benny has been right there to console me, drink with me, commiserate with me, and even to help me pay my rent upon occasion by giving me work. Well, that and the fact he shot the photograph I'm staring at right now. And it's a picture of my nude body. Posing as a new model is something I dreamed of. So it sounds pretty interesting. I want to read more. Yeah, I'm going to keep it. Okay, the witch season. Summer and fall, it is called. Okay. August 11th. This is a diary entry by Kerry. Once again, I woke up screaming, drenched in sweat, wet sheets tangled around my legs as if I'd been flailing them for hours. Brandy even came into our room and told me she could tell the instant I snapped out of it. My mouth was open like a gasping fish, she said, and then it closed and my eyes opened and I had let out a real ear piercer because, after all, there was this face in front of me looking at me like I was some kind of sideshow freak. So this sounds interesting. I want to read more. I'm going to keep it. The Ashfall. And let's see, chapter 1. I was home alone on that Friday evening. Those who survived know exactly which Friday I mean. Everyone remembers where they were and what they were doing, in the same way my parents remember 9/11, but more so. Together we lost the old world, slipping from that cocoon of mechanized comfort into the hellish land we inhabit now. The pre-Friday world of school, cell phones and refrigerators dissolved into this post-Friday world of ash, darkness, and hunger. But that Friday was pretty normal at first. I argued with Mom again after school. That was normal too. The scariest apocalypse is one that could really happen. I think I'm going to keep it to read a little bit more. It sounds pretty interesting, so yeah, I'm going to keep that one. Okay, The Silence of Six. Max Stern bounced on the balls of his feet. The line was moving way too slowly. He should have been at afternoon soccer practice or running around the track, not zombies shambling down the hallway to the school auditorium. But since hosting a presidential debate was such an honor for Granville High, attendance was mandatory. Yeah, it sounds like a high school book. I think I'm going to keep it because my children might want to read it. So let's keep that one. Mismatch. We have a few more and I'm almost done. Chapter 1. I am a successful businessman looking for a wife. Due to a busy career and lack of energy or interest to devote to the process, I am seeking someone to assist me in my search. I am outsourcing the entire process. Job to start immediately. The perfect candidate will be assertive with excellent computer skills and a knack for reading people. I am only seeking woman to fill this position. Will be expected to. I want to read a little bit more. I think I'm going to keep it. Let's move on to One Man's Castle. Okay. Walter heard the footsteps under his bedroom window even before his wristwatch vibrated. He froze, his heart pounded as he fought his natural instincts to jump out of bed. He forced himself to remain motionless, lying still under the covers in the darkness of the early morning hours. The element of surprise was his greatest weapon, and any sound might give him away. This sounds like a fast-paced book. I think I'm going to keep it. Next book, I have 3 left, so Every Second is the next book. And here we go. It takes place in New York. Lori Fulton woke in the darkness of her bedroom to a strange pressure covering her mouth, forcing her head deep into her pillow. A hideous face glared down at her. Whoa, this sounds enticing and very interesting, and I want to read more, so yeah, I'm going to keep it. Okay, 2 more to go. This is Dark Fever. Yeah, so let's see what this one's about. I'm hoping I like it. This is book 1 of a series. There is a map. Okay, Dark Fever. Here we go. Prologue. No, let's skip that. Let's go to chapter 1. A year earlier, July 9th, it takes place in Georgia. 94 degrees, 97% humidity. It gets crazy hot in the South in the summer, but it's worth it to have such short, mild winters. I like most all seasons and climes. I can get into an overcast, drizzling autumn day. Great for curling up with a good book. Every bit as much as a cloudless blue summer sky. And I've never cared much for snow and ice. So, yeah, I'm going to keep it. Sounds pretty interesting. We're on to the last book. Yay! This is Survive. So let's see what this one is about. Okay, so the very first page says, fear is something I don't think you experience unless you have a choice. If you have a choice, then you're liable to be afraid. But without a choice, what is there to be afraid of? You just go along doing what has to be done. So, yeah, I like that. I'm going to keep it. So we are done with the video. Let's see how many books I actually donated. Not that much, but it's something. Okay, here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I got rid of 10 books. That's better than last week. So here we go. These Broken Stars. Take One. Down to You. To Start the Start of Me and You. Midsummer's Nightmare. The Iron Daughter. Magician's Nephew. The Truth About You. Save Me. And The Good Parents. So 10 books down. Thank you for all your help this week. Stay tuned for more videos. Yes, I will probably do the next, I think we're up to M authors, so I probably will continue that. So stay tuned for that on Monday. And yeah, and comment if you have read any of the books. And I will see you in another video. Thanks for watching. Bye.